There's a chance to course correct it, but it would take the new Trump administration going after it really hard.
How would they correct it?
Well, first of all, you got to fire, you got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit, has got to go. Either you're in for war fighting, and that's it, and that's the only litmus test we care about. You got to get DEI and CRT out of military academies, so you're not training young officers to be baptized in this type of thinking. And then, whatever the standards, whatever the combat standards were, say, in, 1995, let's just make those the standards. And as far as recruiting, to hire the guy that, did Top Gun Maverick and create some real ads that motivate people to want to serve. And there's lots of other ways in which you could identify who gets promoted and what, but there's an ethos change. I mean, there's a reason people don't want to serve, because they don't trust that their senior leaders are going to have their best interest in mind in combat. I know there were mistakes made on our tours all over the place, but I, at least for the most part, had a sense that my senior leaders were committed to the completion of the mission for the right reasons. And maybe there were strategic differences and all that other stuff, and it wasn't always perfect, but that trust is broken, and you have to reestablish that trust by putting in no-nonsense warfighters in those positions who aren't going to cater to the socially correct garbage.
So that's the newly appointed Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth talking about reforming the US military, which I think we can all agree it desperately needs. This is the current guy in charge, so he's got about a month left before he's gone. And then hopefully we can get back to normality. Not all of this crazy stuff. Check this out.
Своих возможностей. К черту границы. Ты готов ломать себя? Да, потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле главный враг вчерашний ты. Твоя задача выследить врага.
Girl raised by 2 moms. I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. Standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class. I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way.
That's the Russian army adverts versus the American army adverts. Like, who are they trying to appeal to? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, all of that's going to be gone. Also, no more of this.
Happy Transgender Day of Visibility.
Get the fuck out of here.
I am Admiral Rachel Levine, the Assistant Secretary for Health at the Department of Health and Human Services. For the second year in a row, the transgender flag is flying above our department in Washington, D.C. And this is an affirmation of the administration's support for the transgender community and across the nation, as well as our support for evidence-based gender-affirming.
I just googled this guy and it actually says he is an American pediatrician, so he specializes in kids. Anyway, that's not the only upgrade. This is the new Attorney General of the United States.
Why is it that the women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions? Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
JD Vance says the main issue with this guy is he used his office to prosecute his political opponents and authorized federal agents to harass parents who were peacefully protesting at school board meetings. Oh wait, that's actually Merrick Garland, the current Attorney General. So yeah, good riddance to him as well.
I am honored to serve as the first female 4-star officer and the first openly transgender 4-star officer to serve across any of the 8 uniformed services.
What other upgrades have we got? Let's see. Okay, Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence. Yeah, I had to mute the original music for copyright reasons, but I'll link the full video down below so you can go and check that out. But it's looking good. What else we got? There's a new border czar.
Up with education, down, down with deportation. Up with education, down, down with deportation.
I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now.
We are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
I hear a lot of people say, the talk of a mass deportation is racist. It's threatening to the immigrant community. It's not threatening to the immigrant community. It should be threatening to the illegal immigrant community.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
And then this is Alina Habba, who apparently is the front runner for Trump's press secretary position. So let's make that happen.
But let me be very clear. I am an American woman. I am a MAGA woman. And I don't need a man standing next to me to get up and speak. So while Miss Harris is too busy trying not to giggle in front of the American people, I am going to get my hands dirty and help President Trump save this country. God bless you all. I love you.
Now overall, I'd say it's looking pretty good for America right now. Obviously, there's a few people who aren't happy about it. You've got all these woke feminists coming out who are basically saying they're going to go on a sex strike. But guess what? Nobody cares.
Those chicks are so pissed that Trump would, shaving their heads, screaming that they're going to go on a sex strike. You can't threaten people by taking something away that no one wanted in the first place. Also, I don't know what you're doing going on a sex strike. Some of you really need a hunger strike.
Women I've been talking to are really, really concerned, and they're emotional, and I think a lot of them have a right to be.
Politicians aren't perfect. They're imperfect like everybody else. Trump's rhetoric isn't for everybody. His style isn't for everybody. We got a lot of good things done under Trump.
Okay, then what they did, meaning a woman's right to choose, is removed under Trump.
That's not the only issue in this world, okay? A percentage of the female vote went up 2%. So are those women crazy? I mean, it's not 50%, but it's high 40s, and he got that. So ask those women. Like, they voted for Trump. So clearly, it wasn't just abortion was the issue. Now, I agree. Even in very Republican states, pro-choice amendments have done very, very well, okay? So it is a concern. I think most people are pro-choice, okay? But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people, there's other things. They're concerned about the broken border. They're concerned about crime. They're concerned about inflation. They're concerned about a lot of other things. So women are not one-dimensional. Men are not one-dimensional. And so if you're upset about abortion, great. If that's your prime issue, then go live in a state that's pro-choice. If it's not your one issue, like a lot of people vote for Trump, you got other things to care about, and he'll fix those things. Not totally, but he'll do his best.
I think it's easy for you to say as a man.
Well, dude, it's easy for me to say about a lot of things. Sure, I'm not a woman. That's why I don't opine on abortion.
Don Lemon really fell off, didn't he? He went from presenting CNN to doing interviews on the street. But anyway, he's actually had enough now. He said he's quitting Twitter, or X. And he made a video announcing it like anybody cares.
Hi, everyone. I have loved connecting with all of you on Twitter and then on X for all of these years. But it's time for me to leave the platform. I once believed that...
You know what? I'm not even going to play the full video because he's that irrelevant. He even left a statement on Twitter, and obviously nobody cares. These are some of the responses. Someone said, "This is not an airport. You don't have to announce when you leave. Nobody cares. Leave already." I ain't reading all that. You can hit delete account anytime now. Hey everybody, Don Lemon is leaving X. See? Nobody cares. Anyway guys, that's the end of the video. I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.